Yeah, man. May's bad, man. In the group chat, talking spicy about Brandon Ennis. We're going to talk about it. The house is not divided. It's your boy, the resident Buckeye fan. First of all, you should probably join the live stream every Saturday at 11 with me, the other half of this podcast, Marcus, the resident Michigan fan, Johnny Oldham, boxing maniac, and May's Madman. Make sure y'all tune in this Saturday because it's going to be important that you do. And here's why. Mays was in the chat right after the Brandon Ennis punt return fumble, saying Brandon Ennis is trash. Samaj Morgan is better than Brandon Ennis. And of course, that argument came up multiple times. But now is where you put your money where your mouth is, Mays. You my boy. I like you as a Michigan fan. But the talking got to stop. I'm issuing a bet right now. All the games leading up to the Michigan game, whoever has the most yards, whoever has the most touchdowns receiving, actually, you know what? Let's combine it because both of them are returners. Let's combine it. Return yards and touchdowns and receiving yards and touchdowns. Whoever has the most yards and touchdowns all across the board between Samaj Morgan and Brandon Ennis, the loser has to wear the opponent's gear in the preview before the Michigan Ohio State game. How's that sound? Come on, Mays. Put your money where your mouth is. You keep talking about Brandon Ennis is trash and all that, which is not true. Put your money where your mouth is. Now let's talk about the Washington game. I want to start with the conservative play calling. I think that seems to be one of the things that a lot of Buckeye fans are talking about. And I, for one, am not the biggest fan of it for obvious reasons. We had the talent to go aggressive whenever we want. I think all of us were pleased when we saw the playoff run with the aggressiveness that Ryan Day was showing. However, go with what's going to continue to win you the games, right? I think Ryan Day's concern is I don't know how much he fully trusts Julian Sayin as a young quarterback yet. And I just believe that he didn't want to give Washington any chances to cause turnovers, to take away from any confidence that Julian Sayin has built thus far. And ultimately, I feel like he felt like he could win this game while still calling a conservative game. And obviously he still did so, especially with the defense that we have, that even with Damon Williams playing a very good game, with Jonah Coleman playing a pretty good game, and even though Jonah Coleman didn't really contribute as much as Desmond Roebuck, for example, their offense cooked, but our defense limited them to no touchdowns, right? 2 field goals. And so I think he was okay with that, and that's why the conservative play calling. At the end of the day, I think we start to see some more aggressive play calling. I think we start to see utilization of some of our more talented players more the further we go into the season. Phillip Daniels, man, I didn't see too many spots on the offense that weren't so good. Phillip Daniels, dog, the penalties hurt us so much, and I feel like we probably left some points on the board, but you know, that was probably his worst game. I hope from there that he feels like that's his low and that he starts to play up to a level that he needs to start playing up to, because I don't ever want to see that many penalties, especially from an offensive line that has been doing much better than they have in recent years. And so, Phillip Daniels, you can't have a game like that. Edric Houston, I haven't been seeing the performance that I would like to see from Edric Houston, especially compared to Caden McDonald, who's been balling out of control. And I'm not going to shit on Edric Houston. I still think he's a good player, but at the very least, keep your temper under control. Keep your temper under control. This is a game that I feel like if we really got out of hand with some of the penalties and some of the mistakes, it could have started to go the other way. And so definitely don't need your temper causing issues that can lead to momentum switches at any point for teams that can be dangerous. Don't need that. Edric Houston, keep that shit under control. The roughing the passer call on Washington, it wasn't roughing the passer. I'll just be honest. It was not roughing the passer, but thanks, refs. Thanks, refs. We'll take that. I am now convinced on Bo Jackson. I'm convinced. I've seen pretty much everything that I need to see. I do like CJ Donaldson being involved. I think he runs with a lot of power. I think he's experienced. I think he's probably the better blocker and receiver out of the backfield. However, the way Bo Jackson runs, it's I like it. I like it. You know what I mean? Like I told y'all before, the footwork, the vision, and just the overall talent is just there. It's just there. And if Bo Jackson is going to be the guy going forward, that's perfectly fine with me. I still do like James Peoples. And I still think that given the opportunities, James Peoples can prove it eventually. But Bo Jackson's time is now. It just is. So definitely going to keep on the Bo Jackson train for the rest of the season. I know I issued the bet at the beginning of the video about Brandon Ennis. Obviously, we can't have punt return fumbles, especially early on in the game, giving them momentum. I did not like to see that from Brandon Ennis. However, he's not the only one that's fumbled punt returns. However, he's not the only one that's made mistakes on this team. And I still believe in Brandon Ennis as a player. Realistically, he's getting, I think, less than 8% of the targets, right? So everybody demanding to see something out of Brandon Ennis, he's getting less than 8% of the targets, right? Jeremiah Smith, obviously so, is getting a overwhelming majority of the targets, right? Followed by Carnell Tate, followed by the tight end room and the running back room as a whole, and then Brandon Ennis. And that's pretty much the way that the offense is run. And so demanding that you see something out of Brandon Ennis, first of all, as football fans, right? As intelligent football fans, because I'm sure we all are, do we not understand that even if a person doesn't have the ball, they can still contribute in a major way to the game plan? Okay. So then we understand that Mylan Graham, just because he's caught one ball all season and we like the way he looked when he did it, that doesn't mean that he is better or better suited to be in the position that Brandon Ennis is currently in. He's named a captain for a reason, right? From a leadership edge, he's there. I've seen reasons why I should believe that he's got that dog in him. And he is talented. Just give him time. Again, he's accounted for maybe 8% of the targets. Give him time to show and prove why he's a part of this wide receiver room, why he's a 5-star receiver, because it's there. And he's caught the most passes in the Washington game as he has all season. I don't know what you want me to do, right? Out of all of the targets he's received, he has only not caught one, right? So very dependable catcher, and he's a playmaker. He can be a playmaker when we need him to be. So again, outside of Michigan fans who probably don't watch every single Ohio State game and spring games and all of that, who don't watch the what happens in practice, I don't expect them to know Brandon Ennis. I expect Ohio State fans to know Brandon Ennis and be okay with where he is right now. And for them to know how we run our offenses and know that they really like the looks that they're getting out of 2 tight end formations. So again, give Brandon Ennis some slack. Okay, Damon Williams, Jonah Coleman, they showed up and they showed improved. And I like that because our defense also showed improved, why they are probably the number 1 defense in the nation. Again, I think they're currently averaging less than 6 points a game given up. Gotta love that. That means you're giving up less than a touchdown every game. Now, granted, 2 of those games were Grambling State and OU, but you gotta love that high power offense out of Texas and out of somewhat high powered offense out of Texas. Once Arch gets it. And then, obviously a very high powered offense out of Washington held them to less than a touchdown. They did not get a touchdown. Gotta love that. I do think their red zone defense has been showing improving as well. I think from what I've seen, they're right in line with where we were before, right? Some people would argue that this defense is better than the defense that we had last year, right? You can make that argument. I'm perfectly fine with that. But at the very least, the red zone play that I've seen out of the defense from last year was great. And then the red zone play that I'm seeing out of this defense now is great. Therefore, I am happy. I don't have any reason not to be happy with that. They're doing their damn thing. I've been telling y'all since the preseason that Arvell Reese was that guy. I've been speaking his high praises since last year. So now it's great to see him actually come out and show and prove why he's one of the best linebackers in the nation. Caden Curry, great game. Great game. Great game. I like to see that even if, Kenyatta Jackson hasn't been in the backfield as much as we like and hasn't been turning up the way that you did in the Washington game, that you can at least come out and show and prove. And again, I still like some of the looks that we've gotten from guys like Bo Atkinson. So like the edges are doing the damn thing. Lorenzo Styles. I am a fan. I do believe that you should be in the position that you're in right now, but I need you to step up your level of play. I need you to not get burnt by receivers in the slot. You're the nickel. I need you to play a little bit better. I need you to cover a little bit better, because I will be honest with you, the idea of Jermaine going back to nickel and us putting Devin Sanchez on the outside again, like we did when you were injured, intrigues me at the very least. And so I don't want to call for your job. I don't want to call for your position. But the idea of going back to that does intrigue me if you are going to play at the level that you've played in the last couple of games. I hope that you continue to play a little bit better and play to the level that I know that you can play at. Davison Igbinosun, dog, you've been looking good. You've been looking good. Now, hey, don't think I didn't catch you getting handsy again. Slow down on that. But you did play really good. Definitely glad to have you back on the team. You're showing and proving. Love to see that. Not for nothing. I think we all know this. I think we're all well aware of this. But, dog, Caleb Downs' open field tackling, elite. elite. Love it. It has saved us plenty of times. Love it. I will miss the day that we don't have Caleb Downs on this team anymore, because just from a stance of open field tackling, never mind the rest of the things that he does as a safety, or the fact that you can use him pretty much anywhere on the field, to be honest with you. Just the open field tackling, the secure tackling, when a player is running up to him, I know if I see number 2, he's getting tackled. He's going to make sure that play doesn't end up in a touchdown. Love it. That was the Washington game. I liked what I've seen out of most of the players in the Washington game. Again, conservative play calling kind of limited Julian Sayin a little bit. I do think there were times where I'm sure Julian Sayin wishes he could have, took off the top, but it's okay. It's okay. We've got more games this season, and there are teams that I see Ryan Day wanting to open up aggressive and be aggressive. I'm looking at you, Penn State. Also, real quick, in the live stream last Saturday, I said I see a world where Penn State has 3 losses this season. They're on 1 right now. They're on 1, and we all think Ohio State's going to beat them as well. And Indiana looks really good. Just wanted to clarify. So when I say there are teams that I feel like we might go aggressive against, think about it. So the reason why I feel like they were a little bit more conservative is because if you do have mistakes and you turn the ball over, Washington has more chances to make you pay. And then out of nowhere, the momentum can swing their way, and this can be a much tougher game. On the other hand, Penn State's defense, while good, definitely good, obviously led by Jim Knowles, if they cause turnovers, especially against this defense, are any of you afraid of Penn State's offense doing anything against this defense? Are any of you afraid of Drew Aller or even Nick Singleton and Katron Allen this season, especially when you have the defense like Ohio State's? I'm not. Go aggressive. Go aggressive against Penn State. Do it, right? So I say that to say, I think even though we're seeing conservative play calling against teams like Washington, I think it's just more so we don't want to cause any mistakes against offenses that'll make us pay when they get the ball. So I think by the end of the season, we'll start seeing some aggressive play calling, and you'll start to see Julian Sayin going off the top, and he will finally stop having 200-yard games, and maybe he'll start having 400-yard games. Just saying. Now, Minnesota, I don't think has too much of a running game right now, and I think they're putting pretty much everything into the hands of Drake Lindsey, their quarterback. And if I'm not mistaken, Drake Lindsey is a fairly young quarterback. I think this defense will be too much for them. I don't feel like Minnesota's defense is anything to be too concerned about, to be honest with you. Plus, this is a home game. I hope it's not too much of a trap game. I doubt it because, again, they don't have much of a running game. But we've got Illinois next on the road. And so I would say that would be a game that's a little bit more of a concern, and maybe I'll go a little bit more in depth with that. But for now, obviously, give me the Buckeyes. I think we're going to go in there. We're going to win it. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all like this video to help us out on the algorithm. And make sure that y'all check us out on Saturday at 11 o'clock. We will be previewing all the games, recapping some of the big ones from last week. And your boy is 6-0. I called Oregon against Penn State. And obviously, we're going to have another game of the week to see if I still remain undefeated 7-0. What? So make sure y'all check that out. And on that note, I'm out. Peace.